Folks, we've got a hell of a week ahead of us. We've got a lot of ground to cover here. I'm going to be flipping the camera around here just in a moment and show you the graph. Couple of announcements. First announcement is that Spirit Team is having me start doing my Somatic Money Oracle deck card pulls in another video this week, and I've already pulled the cards for this week. Can't wait to show you. But those are going to be in a separate video. That video will be placed after this one, either here on Sunday today or on Monday tomorrow. The energy forecast that I am doing connects up with these cards. The cards connect up with the energy forecast. We're going to step out and split up those two topics so we can really give each one their due diligence. Second, my spirit team has been all over me recently that I need to have a central location for my videos from here on out. So this week I am going to begin to bring in Vimeo. I think Vimeo is going to be the new platform. It is going to be on my website because as we see things continue to unfold with TikTok, I think YouTube for now is stable. I am on Blue Sky and Skylight. I'm going to try again on Reddit. But just to give us a stable place for all of us to come home, I am going to be placing my videos on Vimeo on my website. So if you have any question about, oh my God, where is Dana at? You're going to be able to always gravitate back to my website just in case things just really get out of control. Now, we've got a lot of groundwork to cover about the energies this week, but I want to give you a cheat sheet up front first so you know what to stay focused on, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of different things and it's going to be easy to get lost in it. And what you need to know out of the gate are two things. The two things are, this week, there is going to continue to be the heavy, powerful, grounded kind of gut level astrological landscape and work that we're going to be walking through. Some of it's going to feel mucky. Some of it's going to feel kind of explosively powerful. There's a lot of different energies moving in different directions. And so it's going to be very easy to get sucked into 3D world. And so my first nod to you is just to let you know that's going to be kind of bumpy, and it is going to be very important for you to be aware of that so that you know what to do with the number two thing. And the number two thing is, at the same time, there's going to be a lot of very powerful, high vibrational energies happening. So, we're going to get the full spectrum this week, and we're not just going to get the full spectrum a little bit. We're going to get the full spectrum amplified from all the way from really deep shadow, bumpy, mucky, really hard, powerful kind of work, all the way up to like really high vibrational frequencies and powerful things coming through and timeline jumps and oh my God. So that's our continuum. And what I'm going to be doing and what I suggest you do is that you're aware of the tough stuff. Be aware of the tough stuff. And make sure you keep walking forward. That's what my spirit team has been saying to me. They're like, Dana, no matter what happens, know it's going to work out. Know you're going to be okay. And just keep taking steps forward. So if you find yourself lost in really tough, low vibrational energy, keep walking forward and make sure you always give yourself the choice to know that there's really high vibrational, powerful, energetic stuff going on this week. And maybe sometimes you can get to it. Maybe sometimes you can't. It's not about forcing yourself there, but it's about letting yourself know you have the option. Letting yourself know you have a choice. Letting yourself know, hey, Dana said that thing about 5D and timeline jumps and it's out there. And if I want to reach towards that or be in that or experience that, let me open myself up to it. And so when you can, if you're able to, open yourself up to that higher vibrational space, to walk in that higher vibrational space and experience it. I believe the challenge this week is the potential of getting sucked into the mire of the harder, lower vibrational, heavier, darker energy at the same time that really high vibrational, powerful frequencies are going on. And so just know that range is there. And just know that, if it's difficult and tough, maybe there's going to be some openings that lighten up that you can step through into that space. None of us are perfect. Everybody has their own spiritual journey. Use your discernment. But this is just kind of my MO this week that I'm just sharing with you at this point. Okay, I'm being given the green light by Spirit Team to flip the camera around. I covered all the information I needed to, so let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. All right, folks, there she blows. It's a big one. Oh my God, it's a big one. It's exciting. Like I went in and started doing this one, and at first I was daunted. I was like, oh God. And the further I got through it, and I'm talking with you guys, like, I'm super stoked. I'm very excited about this. I'm especially excited about like right here. I mean, Lionsgate stacked with powerful track level, changing level 1 timeline jump, stacked with a full moon. Mars in Libra, a little bit of diplomacy. That's going to be helpful. You can feel the energy pulsing through this chart. We're going to make it through. We're going to be okay. We're going to be going through a lot of changes. I think we're looking at a week that is going to change things. So just wanted to take that in. And then as far as theme, positive, challenge, I've kind of already talked about that before I flipped the camera around, but this is like, the theme is about holding the new timeline vibe in challenging energy. So there it is again. Let's do the challenging. The challenge is holding space with powerful new timeline uplift while navigating powerful challenging astrology. And the positive, we are headed towards standing on firmer, higher, more solid ground later on in August, potentially into September. So that gives you a pretty good snapshot. I'm pretty sure, my pendulum is showing pretty sure these are peak energy days. You might want to use your pendulum to check on your peak energy days for this week, but I'm pretty solid. Peak energy days are hanging out right about here, Friday, Saturday. So we're going to be building through into a really big Lionsgate timeline jump gateway thing. So let's take a look at last week. That's what last week looked like. There's the big boom. There's the earthquake. There's the volcano. We had a huge Schumann's happen right here. We were doing the kickoff timeline jump of a layer 2-3. We had energy gateways, a tunnel. We kicked off then this level layer 1 running all the way through here up to about Monday. And I want to come back here and give another nod to Schumann's, because when we hit that kaboom, that showed up on the Schumann's. But then recently, as we've started coming into this new gateway, I want to show you something. Take a look at this. 8-1. And remember, this graph is I think it's about 9 hours off from United States time, depending on the time zone. 8-1. Look at that timeline jump right there. Like, I haven't gone and checked Erin Brown, but I would put money that she looked at that and went, timeline jump, timeline jump. Guess what? That corresponds right up with this right here. 8-2, that came in on an 8-1. Here's our 8-2, beginning of timeline jumps. This Schumann's graph is about 9 hours off. Then look at this, it didn't let up. Then yesterday, solid wall of light. And this line right here, again, I haven't checked in with Erin Brown, but usually when a line like this shows up, that is significant. And then if you look, we've got a striation right there. I don't know if I count that as a striation, but it has not let up. So this is the front end of our track level 1 and a track, layer 1, level 1 track change timeline jump. I would say Schumann's is definitely syncing up with what my pendulum check picked up on, or I should probably turn that on and say my pendulum picked up on what Mother Earth was in the process of doing with a timeline jump. So I just wanted to let you know about that and to keep tabs on Schumann and Earth's heartbeat, her breathe in, her breathe out. So this week right here is the week that we are looking at. Let's start from the top. Moving astrology right here, this thing right here is Saturn retrograde conjunct Neptune retrograde. This is going to be going on for a while. This is an anchor point. I've talked about this in previous forecasts. As of current, it is connected up with Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde conjunct sextiling Pluto. This is going on for a while. Then it's also connected up with Uranus. So All of these are working together as a solid piece of energy. I've gone through these. If you want to pick up the meaning, you could go to the last energy forecast. I believe I did a little bit more of an in-depth dive. That will give you more of the meaning of these. Basically, Saturn, Neptune, this is about the push-pull of boundarylessness. That's Neptune. And Saturn is boundaries, so there's a friction going on. Then you throw in Pluto, transformation, Uranus, awakening, and Gemini, which is mind and freedom. There's a lot going on here. Now, I think the big highlight that we want to begin with to add into this is, of course, the Lion's Gate, because this is massive energy. And what Spirit Team has been saying to me is that this Lion's Gate is more powerful than usual. And I don't know much about a Lion's Gate. Here, let me read up on this for you and let you know what's going on here. So this is a period when a potential influx of energy flows from the star Sirius to Earth, aligning with the sun in Leo and the constellation Orion. It's a gateway of consciousness, transformation, and manifestation. Okay, so that'll give you an idea of what Lion's Gate is about. And Spirit Team has been telling me, for some reason, this Lion's Gate is amplified, people. It is more powerful than usual. I don't know why. I would love it if some other channelers or astrologers or people who are really up on Lion's Gate, could you pop in and comment on that, or even make a video that we could highlight? Because I think this is worth it. I would say out of this entire week going on, Lion's Gate is the crown glory this week. And I love that for us. It's really amazing, transformative, high consciousness energy. Now, what's really interesting is, look, there's Lion's Gate, and then ding, we got a full moon. So there's a lot going on here energetically. And so what's the full moon in Aquarius? Full moon in Aquarius is a time of embracing individuality, community, and change. Oh my goodness. You know, we've got some gems going on here this week that are powerful and quite lovely if we can catch that ride. Now, Spirit Team wants me to go now to Chiron retrograde. We cannot forget about Chiron retrograde. And there's been something going on with Chiron and Eris that I've not talked about, and I really needed to talk about. So Chiron, you know, Chiron's wounded healer, and this that I'm going to be talking about, it happened on May 27th. On May 27th, Chiron conjuncted up with Eris in Aries. And now they are both running very closely together in retrograde with one another. You know, and so this is about intense self-reflection and healing related to core identity, independence, and courage. Very interesting. You put this in the middle of this right here. Wow, that's some really powerful personal transformation, right? So just want you to be aware of that. And then we've got a sign change. Mars is moving into Libra, and I got to tell you, this is good news. This is really good news, because usually when Mars is making a movement, we kind of go, argument, friction, power, war, what are we going to do? Well, Mars is moving into Libra, and Libra is saying, hey, take a chill. Let's balance it. Let's be more diplomatic. Let's look around. You know, we don't have to supercharge this thing with all gusto. Let's take our power, our energy, and take a look at how we can balance it out. This is really good to have as we head into a Lion's Gate and a full moon, and this baseline of Saturn and Neptune doing its stuff with Uranus and Pluto as we head into aspects of Mars and Uranus and Mars and Pluto. So having Mars move into Libra, like what a relief. Well, like this is a very helpful movement, and we need to lean into this. We need to lean into this because there's a lot going on this week. Not just geopolitically, but also personally. Like, remember, we can look at these charts and look at our greater nation and world and see what's going on, but then we can also look at these charts and look at our inner world of our own personal lives. So what's Mars in Libra about more specifically? We're looking at, this is about a person's energy and actions are directed towards maintaining harmony, balance, and relationships. This is about diplomacy, cooperation, peace. We really need this about this time. We really need it. So I'm very thankful for this movement right here. Then let's give a nod to Dark Moon Lilith dancing with the sun, squaring up with the sun. This is going to be about challenge, conflict between one's deep instinctual desires and one's conscious sense of self-identity, societal expectation, and personal desires leading to an internal conflict, power struggles, need to embrace the self. So, it's kind of nice. We got Mars in Libra, being able to be a little bit more supportive of a little bit of that friction right there. And then let's take a look at all of these different actions, movements going on with Mars. So I broke them down like this. We got the meaning of Mars in Libra. Now let's do with Uranus Gemini. It's a dynamic astrological aspect of where the drive of assertiveness that's harmoniously balanced in relationships connects with innovative thinking and freedom-loving energy. There's that nice balance again. We want that move forward, transformation, and Mars and Libra's going, let's slow down a little bit. Let's balance it out harmoniously. Then we take that Mars and Libra opposing Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde in Aries. First I'm like, but let's take a look at it. Tension between harmonious relationships and assertive action, complicated by a desire for structure and escapism. This might be a little bit more challenging, but I'm feeling better that Mars is in Libra, because if it wasn't, it could have been a little bit more explosive. And then we've got Mars in Libra trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. A dynamic interplay between diplomatic and balanced action and transformative power in review. So you can see we're going to have a lot going on internally. And this is again where I need to say, I'm not an astrologer. This is just me taking tools, putting stuff together. So A, I'd say check with your professional astrologer, and B, check with your houses, because what I just showed you, some is going to be amplified more than others depending on what your house is. So I just want to throw that out there again. So again, we're looking at a very internal, powerful change agent. Wow, a lot going on internally and in our outside world. And at the same time, we're doing very powerful timeline jumps and Lion's Gateway with a full moon that can amplify us to a whole other transformative consciousness level. This week is no slouch. Is it going to be challenging? It could be, but I think if we leave the door open to the top side of the energies, I think there's some really good things that can happen along those lines there. And I am kind of giving a little feeling from spirit world of there is also going to be an energy in the air of power to the people, power to the people. If you recall, I'm beginning to pick up on energies for September. I've heard other astrologists pick up on energies for September, about September being more of power to the people, people power, sovereignty kind of kickoff kind of month. And I can feel just a little bit of that in the air, especially as we move through that Lion's Gate and full moon. I think there are some powerful wild card top side things that could happen this week for us personally and maybe even collectively, but we've got to be available. We've got to be available. So no matter how hard it might get, or how down you might feel at certain spots, or how challenging it might seem, remember, keep putting those feet forward in front of you. And I think this is where I get to sign off and say, I think that's what I've got for you for now. Make sure you keep walking forward to meet those miracles along the way. I think this week has a huge setup for that. And I will see you in my next video, coming to you with an oracle card reading. And after that, probably art is life and life is art. We're going to have some fun this week. So much love to you, and I will see you in my next video.